All right, welcome everybody. We're going to do another Unix and Vim quiz today. And so get out your pens and virtual pens and pieces of paper. What you're going to do is you're going to message me the answers on Discord to the quiz. Nope, this is competency number 2. 1 second. Get the right one up here. There we go. Test number 2. Competency questions on Unix and Vim. You're on a virtual lead. All right, borrow a virtual pencil from somebody else. If you pass the other one, do you take this one? No. But it might be educational. So, anyone have any extra? Nice. All right, so you're gonna. I'm gonna put up a question. You message it to me. I'm gonna cut it off. Tell the answer. Don't message me the answer after I've told the answer. It doesn't count at that point. There's one of them that might take a little bit longer than the others to write. But besides that, you guys should be able to get the answer to me for any of these things just off the top of your head. These are all things that should just be at your fingertips. Don't Google anything. Just message me. Okay. So, so start early, message me a dot. Okay. We haven't started yet. Started early, but sorry. Just jumping the gun. Getting ready. All right. How many did it pass? Take 2, yeah. It'll be, you're moving me up the list. I see. It'll be 8 to pass, or 7 if you draw an illustration of one of the questions. If you don't know the answer to a question, draw a picture of it, and I'll take that for one of the questions. All right, let's go. Question number 1. How do you move a file named main.cc from your home directory to your current directory? This is a basic file task that we do in Unix all the time. You have a file over there. It's in that directory. You need to move into this directory. Give me the command now on Discord. All right. It's about 50-50 on that. So come on, guys. You think you do better than that. All right. So maybe this one will be easier. How do you concatenate files? This is identical to the one that we did last week, except instead of having files with the word file in the middle of it, all of the files that we're going to print to the screen, we're going to print all of these to the screen together, are going to be named like 1 bob, 2 bob, 3 bob, like that. And I want you to concatenate all of the files that end with the word bob. So bob can't appear like just at the beginning, but like only words that end with bob should get all printed to the screen together. So this is a test of your knowledge of wildcards and of how to concatenate files together. Message me the answers now. Okay, so the answer to this one is cat star bob. Okay, so star is the wildcard character, and what that means is match all files that end with bob. So if we do like, here we've got file 1, file 2, file 3.txt. So if I want to cat all 3 of those files together, I'd say cat file star.txt. And so what that star is going to do is that'll match any of these 3 files here, file 1, file 2, file 3. So if I do that, it's going to print all 3 of those files together. If I just try doing something like cat star file like that, oh, there is a file that ends in, to probably make file. Yeah. So when I said cat star file, that's going to print all files that end in file to the screen, which in this case was makefile, but it didn't print any of these things because they start with file. And so I could do the asterisk the other way, file star, and then that's going to give me all 3 of these as well. So if I wanted to print all the map.texts here, I could cat map star text like that, and then that's going to give me all those files. Okay, you guys understand? Next up is input redirection. So I've got a file that contains keystrokes, and I want my program to read the keystrokes from that file instead of from the keyboard. This is really useful when you guys are doing testing, when you are like for black box BST. It's extremely useful. So you can put a whole bunch of inputs into a text file, like create a tree. It's like insert 20, insert 10, insert 30, insert 40. Like you can type up and kind of visualize this tree you're going to have. And then when you feed that into the program, you can see if the output you get is what you expected. And then you could change the text file instead of having to retype it every time, which gets tedious. You can just keep redirecting this input in, and then see if the output of the program matches what you mentally are thinking should come from this. Okay, so what do we got over here? We got Hernandez, correct. Close, but wrong. Goosey got it backwards. Brandis got it backwards. Ron's correct. Medina, you're good. All right. Caitlin, yeah, you guys are looking good here. All right, looking pretty good, most of you. All right, next up is renaming a file. So again, very basic Unix command. How do you rename a file called tree.cc to be tree.h? Both of them in the current directory. So they should not move directories. You just got a file in the local directory. You're going to rename it. Really basic Unix stuff. Send your messages in now. Okay, so if you want to rename a file, it is also move. So move doesn't just move things from one directory to another, but it's also used to rename a file. So if we have a file here called foo, this guy here, and I want to rename it to bar, move foo to bar, like that. And then you'll see, there he is. Okay. So if it's all in the same directory, you don't need anything. Remember, ~/ means your home directory. So I'm currently in my home directory right now. Tilde is the home directory. And dot means the current directory. In this case, the current directory is the home directory, but not always. If I cd into my C-side directory, I can move from my home directory to here, the file name bar, and you can see it's there now. And I don't know what that is. It's a shell script. I see. It's fine. Okay. Move bar to up lol.shush up. And if I want to change the permissions, so anybody may read and execute lol.shush screen shell script.sh. I can do that, and you can see it's lsing all of the current directories and printing them with lolcat, which is Team Fortress 2, ultrasound.py. You can see there's a lot of files in there. So yeah, so it's a shell script that cat. So it says for every file, it's gonna print all the contents of the file and pipe the results into lolcat. The vertical slash says take the output of one program and make it the input of the other program. Also very important for you guys to know in Unix. Okay, so number 5, make a makefile. So this one will take a little bit of time, and you are going to need to write 2 lines of a makefile. Just make the world's simplest and stupidest makefile. This makefile, inside of your current project directory, let's say you've got 3 files, main.cc, tree.cc, and tree.h. Main.cc, tree.cc both include tree.h. Tree.h just contains a bunch of declarations but no definitions. The definitions are in tree.cc. And you're going to make a very simple makefile that will, anytime any of those 3 files are changed, it just recompiles the entire project with no linker errors. The reason why I'm having this in here is because there have been a lot of students still having problems with their makefile, still having problems with linker errors. And so, yeah, go ahead and write that and then message it to me. Okay, so yeah, nobody got this one. So let me, it's too much. Let's just make a new makefile. Okay, so we're making a program called a.out because I didn't give it another name. So the a.out is the target. That is what is going to get built. Okay, and after the colon are the dependencies. What I said on the slideshow here is that it has to rebuild the project from scratch anytime any of these 3 files are changed. That means we need a dependency on tree.h, tree.cc, main.cc. When we hit return, it's a tab indent. How do we build this whole thing from scratch? This is not a good makefile, by the way. The way that a lot of you guys are trying to do with .o files and -c and all this kind of stuff is better. but you have to understand the basics of Makefile and like what's actually happening when you do these things instead of like invoking some sort of arcane, ritual, like, a Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, sure. Arcane diagram or something like that. So the line that takes place here is the line that is going to create a.out from the dependencies. And so here it's just going to be g++ main.cc tree.cc. And that will compile them, link them together, and create a file called a.out that's the executable. Okay. A lot of you guys on your homework were just doing this, and then you were getting a linker error, and you were like, I don't understand why I'm getting linker error. I mean, tree.cc is right there in the dependencies. Yeah, it's a dependency. The dependency means that if the timestamp on tree.cc changes, it'll rebuild a.out. But you're not actually linking main.cc and tree.cc together like this. And so if you have a small enough project, this is adequate, I guess. I would probably take the extra steps and make a tree.o and a main.o, et cetera, et cetera. But this is fine for like a little trivial project, right? It's maybe 20 lines of code or so. Yeah, Olsen, you put a -c there, exactly. So if you do that, what's going to happen, it's going to partially compile the file. It will not actually generate the a.out. So if you do that, it'll actually complain to you, like, hey, the thing that was supposed to produce a.out, it didn't. It stopped compilation early. It'll actually give you a warning when you do that. So yeah, it's not a -c there. It's just that. And so that's going to merge the two .cc files. Philosophically speaking, it merges them together. They're not actually merged. Philosophically merges them together. And so if main.cc is calling a function declared in tree.h, but defined in tree.cc, then that will link everything properly. Okay. The last step of the compilation process, or after compilation, however you want to put it, is to link everything together. Everything needs to be provided for that last step. And normally it's going to look like main.o and tree.o and things like that. They're going to be object files normally, but for a really short kind of basic Makefile, this will do. Okay. Because you guys, I've been getting a lot of linker errors from you guys, and you need to understand that compilation process in Makefiles. Okay. All right. Next up is number 6, Vim search. So last week, we asked you guys, how do you search for a word? /float will find all the floats in the directory. How do you go to the next hit? How do you go to the next instance of the word float somewhere within the current file? So we've already searched for float. The word float is highlighted on the screen everywhere. You want to go to the next hit, the next match for float. What is the key to do it? It's one key. Okay, yeah, the answer is N. So all these students are messaging N, no. Yeah, it's N is next. Okay, and Shift N goes to the previous. You think P, but no. Shift N is the opposite. Okay, so N is the next hit. Shift N is the previous hit. You use that to flip through a file looking for every keyword match. All right, we got 2 more here. Good, correct. Why does it smell mildewy in the living room? Yeah. It's not a good sign.
And also Lou's in the house.
Maybe it's because Lou's in the house. I don't know. Can you investigate, Ada? Oh, okay. All right. Let's got a mystery. All right. Next up, how do you copy lines in Vim? Last week we asked you how to delete 200 lines. This time we're going to ask you how to copy 200 lines. How to yank 200 lines in Vim. This should be exactly 5 keystrokes. No more, no less. The answer is 200YY or Y200Y. So one student said copy the lines from 0 to 200, but Roscoe, yeah, okay, good. But that would just copy lines 0 to 200. To copy 200 lines from where you are is Y200Y or 200YY. Same thing, 5 keystrokes. Okay, open for insert above the current line. So last time we hit O, which is kind of the equivalent of scrolling to the end of the line, hitting append, hitting return, and having a new open line below the line that you were on. This one is opening for insert above the current line. Okay. And so on an unrelated note, do you guys know big O notation? That might Yeah, so this one is big O, which is Shift O. That has nothing to do with big O notation. Just literally Shift O opens the line above the current one. Very useful stuff. Like we use these things all the time. Like if I wanted to put a line of code in between these two here, I could like right arrow a bunch of times, hit append and hit return and then type. Way faster to just hit O, like that. Likewise, if I wanted to insert between these two lines, I could hit Shift O and then I could type. Very useful stuff. The only weird thing about O and Shift O is that there's occasionally like a lag. Like sometimes, like depending on your settings in Vim, like you'll hit O and then the thing like pauses for like a second and then it does it. I'm not sure why that is. But you can see on mine there's no lag here. But for whatever reason, yeah, there's just like a weird lag sometimes with O. I'm sure there's like a historical reason for it or something, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Just to me, it's just a weird quirk. Sandwich, Moron, and Orozco, Alt K. All right. Next up is concatenating lines. So how do you join two lines together in Vim? So let's say you're on the line Apple, and you hit the keystroke, and now the next line, the line below us, is a banana, and we want to combine the two lines together and concatenate the two lines together and form apple banana. Okay, so message me your answers now. Yep, Shift J is correct. It's not 2J, it's just Shift J. So in Vim, J is actually down arrow, essentially. K is up arrow, J is down arrow. But Shift J joins the two lines together like that. All right. Yeah, okay. So lowercase j is incorrect, but Shift J, which most people sent me, is indeed the correct answer. Good. All right. Next is last one. Delete 3 words. So last time the final question was delete 1 word. Now it's 3 times harder. You must delete 3 words using Vim. All right, last one, D3W. There you go. All right, if you guys got 7 or better, make a sketch for one of the ones you got wrong, and I will give you the 8 out of 10 on it. If you got 8 or 10 or better, you do not need to do a sketch. So send it to me on on Discord. I don't know how you're going to illustrate a make file. Come up with some sort of picture of a make file. I don't know. Use your creativity. And so if you're borderline, if you were 7 out of 10, then an illustration will push you over the limit. 3DW also works. 3DW and D3W both work, yes. Just like 200YY or Y200Y, same thing. Okay. So I look forward to seeing you illustrating, deleting words. I don't know. It should be fun. When is the next one? Good question. I don't know. Maybe, do you guys want to do another one on Monday? We can do another one on Monday if you want. It could be fun. Because I'm going to be on at SIGC next Wednesday, next Friday, and then it's spring break. And so I'd kind of like you guys to get these done, hopefully before spring break. I don't want anything looming over you. But speaking of things looming over you, let's move to the next video.